Hi everybody, the Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to my Neofly career. I'm here working on Mature Simmer 770 and going through the career mode. This is just our second episode in the series here. We're here at Kilo Charlie Golf Foxtrot. So I'm going to pop in there. If you're unfamiliar with Neofly, it's one of the career add-ons available for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I do not have any paid pieces of this right now, so this is kind of the base package that you'll be seeing in this series. If that changes, I'll certainly let people know, but I think I'll be more than happy with what this is. But this is kind of the middle test between FS Economy, which is totally free. Eventually, I'm probably going to do some testing of On Air, which is not free. So this is a little bit of an in-between where you can do things like airline and company or pilot and company purchases, I think, which again are just $5 or $10, I think. So it's inexpensive in Neofly versus a monthly charge in On Air. But what I'm ultimately trying to do is figure out which one of these I want to use more frequently. It's possible I'll dabble in all three, but I'm sure like anything I'll end up having a preference. So I've spent enough time in FS Economy to understand its pros and cons, and what I'm trying to do here is to do the same within Neofly. I've done a little bit on that other pilot that you saw to kind of get familiar with how it works so that I wasn't fumbling around too much as I was sharing this with the community, but I didn't get terribly far there. I did end up figuring out how to purchase a plane, so forth and so on, but beyond that, not really a ton of time within the system. So just like FS Economy, this is kind of a persistence type of career. So I started at Kilo Lima November here and flew the 8 miles to where I'm at now, which is Kilo Charlie Golf Foxtrot, as you saw. And I'm looking at my jobs menu here, and I think what I'm going to do, because I can take 330 pounds, I'm going to take this 291 pound setup of one passenger and some cargo, and we're going to take it over here to 62D. So you can see I'm basically going to be heading 125, 31 nautical miles. The thing I like about it, it is a hard runway. It does have fuel if we need it. It has really low fees. The fees here were 130. So we're going to bring one passenger to Warren. So we're going to load this one in.
Greetings from the tower. We have a number of passengers that need assistance to board. Please confirm you are ready to receive them.
All right. But we're also going to take the 101 pounds of magazines.
Boarding passenger, please stand by.
Alright, so now I'm going to switch to the flight tab. And so now you can see that I've got both of these available to me. So my total payout, oh wow, is it going to be that much? I didn't even notice that. That would be great if I can get $5,400. That'll give me another 60%. You know, I think we'll be fine. So, you know, we're at 898 feet.
Transporter from dispatch. I see you asked for a cargo mission. The ground crew is waiting for you in the parking to load the crates.
Alright, so I have just finished another
Transporter
mission.
from dispatch. Loading cargo. Please stand by.
So you can hear Neofly does add some sounds in the background. You can hear them loading the cargo. You could hear the passenger getting in and so forth. So some of these messages before 11:18 here is basically welcome aboard pilot is this mission here. So it's waiting for engine start. So we're going to jump back in here. I'm going to get my flaps down.
Everything is on board.
All right. Everything is on board. So we're going to prime the engine.
You're good to go.
All right.
Contact the tower for clearance.
So I should be good. So that is a good thing. And it will sync up the fuel for me. So I just need to get myself set up. Alright, so let me just check one thing here. So one of the things you need is you want all of these things to be green. So we're a little heavier at this point, which is okay. It's not going to matter that much. But you can see, you know, we've got the new job. Cargo delivery is, oh, that's the old one. So we're ready for taxi and takeoff. But it's not giving me any warnings because everything is set appropriately. So I did just continue on. You don't have to do that, obviously, but I was just in here, and so I left. I left everything running from before, so it should. There we go. Start rolling. So I did get in trouble last time because I didn't turn off my landing lights and my taxi lights and things like that. So I'm going to try to be better, and I also went way, way too fast. Why is this doing this? Again, it seems to be... So hopefully I'm not... I can't see where things are at. So I'm going to take off on runway 24, is what I said. All right. Come on. So we're moving a bit, but it's just hard to tell if we're going 30 knots or not, because there's not really a speed indicator that I know of that's going to give me that information. So this is a pretty long runway. We didn't go very far when we landed. This thing is cruising, so I'm going to lower it down again. Oh, I hope this cold goes away soon, because editing out all the coughs and as many of the sounds as I can so that people aren't like, I'm not enjoying this because all I'm hearing are weird sounds from this guy. Sounds that are unpleasant. But in any event, I should be able to head over this way and just take off. Alright, let's get going. So we should hear Elena in a little bit when we take off, giving us some info. Alright, we need to be about 80 on the airspeed to safely rotate. So, should be okay there.
Pilot from dispatch. Fly safe.
Alright. That's pretty much what we'll get from her in basic missions like this. We want landing lights on. So hopefully we won't get dinged because I didn't have them on right away. See, it'll be good. It'll be good to see how forgiving it is. Alright, so I'm going to back this off a bit, pull in my flaps, and then we're going to try to trim the aircraft out so that we can cruise kind of straight and level. I'm going to climb a little higher. Last mission I only went up about 500 feet. It just made it hard to see the runway, so I think I want to arrive a little bit higher. So the challenge with the Cessna certainly is it's, you know, it's mainly a VFR aircraft. I mean, I'm sure I can, you know, turn on the nav radios, set some things and so forth, but you know, I don't know how well all of that would work. It's interesting though, because usually that's on, but I'm thinking I probably don't have some avionics thing on or something. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, let me get myself trimmed out so we can fly pretty nicely. I'm still dropping the nose more than I'd like. So that's not working. We got to go about 134. Climb up. Get up to, say, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000. So that should work. At that point, we're not climbing. It looked like we were climbing about 500, but... And I get that's in a minute, but man, this is slow. I've been flying airliners and jets for a long time. I have not been in a little propeller plane for a long while. So, I mean, the nice thing is you kind of get to enjoy the scenery, get to look around. But it takes time. So with any of these career pieces, that's kind of the challenge you've got. So I think I saw that the airport was 800 feet. So if I'm at 1,500, I'm only at 700 feet above the airport when we get to Warren. That just seems a little challenging. So I'd really like to be up at 2,000 if I could. So we'll get ourselves there. And right now I'm not using real weather. That may change. I think it's easier when we have instruments, because otherwise it's going to really preclude when we can fly. And I'm not sure that everybody's looking for a ton of weather effects to enjoy what's going on. You either love listening to me and spending time with me, or you don't. That's kind of how it works with any YouTuber, right? A little bit of a lake down there, pond, I don't know. This has got to be, you know, I mean, I'm not a real pilot, so I've got the non-aviator flight sim series trying to help folks get into this just like I did. Like, hey, you want to try it? This is what it takes. All right, we're higher up, so the trim tab has to be adjusted differently. So now I'm going to play the trim game. Try to get myself straight and level. I'm basically heading toward the airport. I do have Navigraph out on the sides, so full disclosure, you know, I'm not doing VFR here where it's like, oh yeah, we're flying over the mall and we're doing whatever. You know, because this helps me do some direct routes. Otherwise, I'd have to follow roadways and, you know, or get close, and this gets me... Right, we're definitely going up. I suppose I can also... Oh, we're not going that fast, so... Let me speed up. Or actually, that's slowing me down. Why are we going so slow? That is interesting. The flaps are... The flaps are down. So, it's intriguing, I'll tell you that. I should be moving along at a pretty good clip here, I would think. But some of it might be that I'm climbing more than I should be. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, we're still heading up. Because now we're at 2,300. Let me go back down a bit, because I do want to be closer to the ground level. Sorry, I know my voice at times has got to sound terrible. Like I said, that cold is not making it easy for me, I'll tell you that. Alright, gotta turn a little bit this way, because we gotta be about 134 was the heading straight from the airport. And again, it's 31 nautical miles, but when you're going... just 100, 110. We were going 80 for quite a while. Alright, so now we're down about where I want to be. Now let's try... My goodness, this just is not going to cooperate. Try to level out here. So when you're trying to trim an aircraft, you're just kind of constantly playing with the trim tab a little bit. You're trying to get back to straight and level flight, move the trim tab, and then see if it works. So that is the game I'm playing right now. Hit the tab twice. So the trim wheel in the Cessna is here, so you'll kind of be able to tell when I'm doing things because you can see it move. So that was 3 steps on the trim wheel. Oh boy, I mean it immediately goes up, so I've got to be close, but it does dive back down, so I'm not sure. Alright, 3 more steps. I think we're closer. Because I mean at some point it'll kind of move a little bit, it'll kind of float. Did we find it? Looks like we did, and we're at 1900. I'll take that. It's about 1,000 feet above the airport. I'm trying to land on runway 18, so I basically need to come in from the north, so I'm gonna turn a little bit this way, which is gonna get me closer to 120 or whatever, because right now, yeah, I'm going almost too far the other way. Because I want to give myself a little bit of ability to then run down toward the runway, obviously. So we're going to get ourselves zoomed in a bit on our navigraph. It does look like I'm trimmed out pretty well. I say that, and I'm down to 1,800 feet somehow. So I went up a little, 1 step. We'll see if either that holds it or raises us a bit. But I don't want to be descending. I don't really want to be ascending either. Alright, so you can see I think our shadow down there on the trees. Kind of going over that house now. So the sun obviously is up there somewhere. Alright, so I'm getting a little too close. I'm pretty much right on the heading, which I don't necessarily want to be. It's interesting out there because it almost looks like I'm headed toward Lake Erie, but we're not. We're going the opposite. Although I see, when I look on Navigraph, there is a water body of some sort, a pretty big lake out in that space. But so again, we're heading toward Warren, Ohio, so this is the airport in Warren, I guess. Looks like we're still dropping a bit. We're down like 20 feet, so trimmed up 1 more notch. See if that flattens us out a little bit. But what I want to do is run closer to, let's say 120 here on my heading. And what I find is the plane tends to drift a little to the left. So I don't know if that's just the rotation from the propeller or what it is. I think it's 4 or 5 miles away, kind of up in that direction. There is another airport, Middlefield, Geauga County. Might be there. Not sure. Again, I'm not headed there, but just trying to get some visual representation. There is a... Oh, there it is behind us. Some bigger body of water. There's something called Mosquito Strip that we're not really... I mean, we're somewhat heading toward it right now, but we're not going to get that far over. It's further east of where we're headed. But yeah, definitely looking for feedback from folks. You know, with this, is this a good series given what we're doing? for any of these kind of career series, especially as I start out. The episodes just be exactly this. We're flying along. We're just kind of looking out the window, enjoying things, because, you know, it's 31 nautical miles. Like FS Economy, where I'm in the CJ4 right now, you know, this gets done in like 3 minutes, you know, but this is obviously more involved when we're going 100 than when we're going 250 or 300. Alright, so I do see something that looks like lights and whatever, but so, you know, there's another airport over there, Garrettsville, probably, again, 4 or 5 miles away, so we just might not be high enough to see it. Probably want to drift over this way, because at this point I do think I'm probably going to end up like 5 or 6 miles north of the airport on the heading I'm on, and that's just going to be more flying than we need to do. So, a little bit of farmland out here. Geauga County's got a good amount of Amish and so forth, so you'd expect farms and so forth. That'd be cool if Microsoft Flight Simulator, like, you could sometimes see cars down on the road. It'd be cool if they had horse and buggy. That would definitely be appropriate in this area. But, yeah, just not sure. Because, yeah, we're pretty far over. Kind of heading toward a roadway that we'd see off to the right a little bit. But, yeah, if I stay on this heading, I'm probably going... Yeah, I'm a little closer to probably 140, 145 than I am to 134, but at this point we're at least kind of paralleling where we need to go. So right now, like, that Middlefield Airport is out there somewhere, but it's quite a ways. But yeah, what I was starting to say is, you know, let me know how you feel these career series should be presented, if you've got any opinions. I don't know. Obviously, the way I'm putting them out is kind of the best way I can think of, but, you know, unlike what I was doing in FS Economy, because it really wasn't attached to the simulator as much, other than just simply your location, where there's audio and stuff that happens in this one. Especially, you know, there's some fun missions once we level up that are really interesting, because you'll do sightseeing tours, you'll do things like that. So there's some missions that you fly out and back to the same airport, and there's audio that goes with that. So it's kind of cool, but when we get to that point, we'll experience those. But yeah, it's also interesting having the wing above your head here, because that's obviously not the experience in the airliners or the jets I've been flying. Apologize, yawning there, but it is getting a bit late. This will be my last thing I'm doing tonight before I go try to get some rest, but sure, I'll be hitting more of these things over the weekend. And alright, but we are getting close. We're probably 7-8 miles from needing to turn and start trying to get a visual sighting of the airport. So I'm going to play with my Navigraph a bit here. So interesting. I'm zoomed in quite a bit on Navigraph, where my scale is like 0.8 of a nautical mile But I think that's what I'm going to need to be able to see the runways. The airport probably, it could be that space there. There's a little town here called Delightful, which I I've never heard of, but I'm sure there's lots of little places I've never heard of. And especially as we venture further and further afield from areas I'm familiar with, it'll all be new. But there's some little community right there that is kind of through the post that we can't totally see. Alright, so I'm going to start heading over, because at this point it should be close here somewhere, and we've got to again be at runway 18. I don't know if that's it. It may be. So let me start slowing down. Get my flaps out. I hope it's not that. That's really fast for as high as we are, but it might be that. Okay. Well, I better start descending. So I am going to pull things back. Yeah, that might be it, because it's about the right location. It just, this should have hard runways, so yeah, we are not slowing down here. I'm going to put more flaps out. It's about 800 feet. I'm not seeing a runway. That's my concern. But in theory, I should be. Alright, so we need some power here. That has got to be it. But we're over Delightful now. I'm gonna drop the flaps the last bit. Alright, well, if there's a runway there, I'll be damned. This is not supposed to be a grass runway, but I don't know that I'm seeing anything but that. And this is definitely it. Or is it? Oh, I see. Is it there? That's crazy. By the trees? No. That can't be it. No. Okay, that's not a real runway. Alright, I gotta come in at the angle. I mean, that's a runway there, but the one I was gonna try to land on is a disaster. So, yeah, let's pick something else. So I apologize. This was not planned. So yeah, I don't know if that runway, like one runway is grass and the other one is not. But yeah, that was a bit screwy. Alright, where is it? Because now I'm kind of whoop. I better pay attention to what I'm doing, because I feel things are not doing what they should be doing. Alright, so I need to head up this way a ways, because now I'm basically landing on, what, 22? I think? Yeah. Alright. So I need to be going 4, which would be the runway, so I'm gonna head that way. So this is also the challenge when you're not familiar with the airports you're headed to. Like, you overfly them sometimes, and it's like, wait a minute. That is not what I was expecting. And it might have worked, because similar to FS Economy, I mean, this works a bit the same way, where it's kind of, you know, you just got to be in the right vicinity. Alright, I got to head over to 2200. So I got a big turn to make here. Problem is we're moving pretty quickly. So we're going to suddenly be on top of this thing before we know it. I think it's over there. So now I'm going to back off a bit, but I think I see it. If I don't, this is going to be annoying, but no, I remember the buildings, so I'm pretty sure yep, that's a runway. So that is better. I don't know that I want to back off quite that much. I don't want to go too fast, but alright. That looks much better. Like, that's an airport. That's a runway. That other thing I had, I don't know what I was looking at. That was just scary. Alright. So, let's see what we can do here. Man, it seems like we're going way faster than we are.
Well, you've landed. We'll send maintenance to check the gear after you park.
Yeah, that was a bit heavy.
Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
Alright, yeah, I needed to, probably needed to, I need to open that landing monitor is what I gotta remember. Because otherwise, it's just hard to guess. I'm not good enough yet that I can do that, so. Alright. Let's move a bit more here. Come on, you can do it. So, you know, and this is the other problem with, like, crash detection, because I think, like, I'd have a problem otherwise. Like, I'd probably clip that light and it would just be bad. But yeah, it must have been a grass strip for 18, because clearly there's no other runway here. So that is interesting. I don't know that I expected that they would do that. But like, even if I head out here, because it's grass. That's a grass strip is what that has to be, because where I'm looking right there, that's supposed to be runway 1836. Like, they basically run into each other there. Just so hard to tell how fast I'm going. It's also interesting, in the air, it looked like we could see buildings here, but they're gone when we're on the ground. So, yeah, I mean, it's like the footprints are there, but they're not. So I'm just going to park here, because I don't know that there's a better way to go. We'll turn it off, and then they'll unload us.
Okay, pilot. The guests are leaving the aircraft now.
See you later. Hope you enjoyed your flight. The guests. I have one seat. So it's the guest, not the guests. And then we have the magazines that they're going to have to unload too. So the only bad thing about all that is obviously all that
Transport from dispatch. Okay, nice job. Someone is coming to take the cargo. I'll call you when it's done.
So, it's going to burn more fuel doing what I did. Alright, so if I go here, alright, so landing lights off during takeoff, so that's, it didn't give it to me there, but it doesn't look like I had, you know, we landed, vertical speed 305, that's a bit crazy. Alright, so when it tells us we're good to start the engines, basically means, you know, we can begin another mission if we wanted. But as I said, I'm not going to do that. But yes, I went too fast on the taxi speed. Maybe here I did okay. So, looks like 39 XP for the flight. So, payload realism, aircraft stress respect, so still not bad. Flight time, I'm sure, gave us some of that XP. And then we get another 10, so that would give us like another 49. So there we go, we're at 85 of 1,000. And I'm getting out of Microsoft Flight Simulator now, so we're going to kind of start to see red, and obviously that's why we don't have a map and so forth, because it doesn't know where we're at. And we're A-rated, but, you know, fuel usage was 15 pounds. But, you know, I can't argue with the payday. So yeah, if I go to my log, yeah, landing was 305, so we didn't get the soft landing. I don't know that these really give us any bonus. I think because we had the landing lights and so forth. You know, because we didn't get any 30 or that there were no lights in landing. But I think because I had these to begin with, that negated the seatbelt. And then on the first flight I landed at 109, and that's where we got kind of the cushy thing, because you can see that's the comfort landing flight per minute, bank and pitch. So these are just, I you know, let you see how you did well. You know, I didn't do any stall or overspeed in either of them, so they're both good. And then here again, the airport fees are less. Great payments. So we've gone from 5,000 to almost 13 in 2 flights. Let's see what options we have here. Nothing that I would use. So kind of every airport I land at, I'm looking. Oh, no, there is one. Okay, wow. That's what we're going to need? Holy moly. And I don't have enough money to deposit it. You know, but the challenges here, I think it gives you any planes that are available in Neofly, but not specific to your simulator. Because I don't know, I mean, maybe I can find these in Microsoft, but, you know, I'm just not sure why it's showing them to me. Because they're not anything I'm familiar with. So, yes, the Cessna Skyhawk I am, and that is what I'm looking for. But wow, we're going to need $500,000. So I think we're going to be flying this 152 for a bit. Or, well, I mean, I can rent this, but I'd have to take out a loan, which I can do, but goodness. Because, yeah, I just think this would be easier to get to locations. It's not much faster, so I don't know that it's, I don't know. I'll wait for now. Again, give me your opinion, but I think the fact that, you know, I'm going to have to pay, and I think this does take you down per actual day if you're owning it. So I could very quickly eat away at costs and kind of be back in the same position where right now at least I own this aircraft, and yes, it's a little bit of a challenge, you know, and then I just don't know that anything like these are any better, but you know, maybe I'll need to get familiar with some other aircraft and see what my potential options could be. Because if I have something that takes more seats or more cargo, because yeah, see, I can do 740 pounds in this one versus I think I'm at 589, so it's still just one passenger, but I could take bigger cargo. You know, this is about the same as what I have. This one takes a lot more, but I just don't know that, you know, I can use these. So I guess that's a little bit of research that I'm going to need to do. I mean, right now, like, I can't rent that one, so that doesn't help me. But alright, see, like this one I can. So I could rent that, but holy moly, look at that deposit. So this is a cargo aircraft. I mean, if you really look at it, like, it only takes one passenger, but it has a good cargo load. But what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of research and see, and then maybe, you know, I can find like freeware versions or something that I can use of something, then that might work. Because like these Mudry Cap, I've never even heard of that. I think it's a company, but I don't know. So I'll have to do a little bit of research, you know. But these things may only be available, say, in X-Plane or prepared. That's the thing. I'm not remembering if Neofly is Microsoft only. But with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm kind of babbling here at the end, as tends to happen with these as I try to explore and learn. But if you've enjoyed this and haven't dropped a like, please consider doing that. And if you are not a subscriber to the channel yet, please consider that. And I will see you next time.